Infidelity rarely bursts into the open with a slammed door and a suitcase. It sneaks in through the small, ordinary moments, the ones you call harmless, and by the time you notice, someone else has already been given a place at her heart. Cheating doesn't usually begin with a kiss. It begins with feeling seen, just once more, in places you never thought mattered. Today, I'm walking you through the 7 quiet places where betrayal usually gets its first foothold. Listen close. Some of these will feel painfully familiar. 1. The silent gym, where she rediscovers being noticed. Cheating doesn't begin in a bedroom. It starts in quiet corners like the gym, a place that looks harmless but can turn into a stage for attention. You see, most men think their woman goes to the gym to get fit. But for some women, it's not just about fitness anymore. It's about feeling seen again. When a woman hasn't felt noticed in her relationship for a while, the gym becomes something else. It becomes a mirror, not the kind that shows her reflection, but the kind that shows her she still has value. Every "you're doing great," every look from a trainer, every casual compliment about her progress, it feeds a need that's been starving. It's not the gym's fault. It's about the emotional gap at home. Let me tell you a small story. A man named Adam thought everything was fine with his girlfriend, Emma. They lived together, laughed sometimes, but things had gone quiet between them. Then Emma started going to a new gym. Adam encouraged her, even said it was good for her health. But soon she started dressing better before leaving, staying longer and posting workout selfies. She said she was just motivated. Adam believed it. Until one night, he saw a message from her trainer. "You looked amazing today. Keep that energy." It wasn't just a fitness comment. It was validation she craved. Here's the thing. Not every woman who joins a gym is cheating, but every woman who feels invisible is at risk of finding her reflection somewhere else. The gym gives her that reflection on a silver plate. So what should you do? Don't mock her or act suspicious. Just reappear. Start noticing again. Be present. Not with over-the-top gifts or fake charm, but with your gaze, your attention, your energy. Because when a woman feels invisible at home, she will seek light somewhere else, and the gym is full of lights. A man's biggest mistake is assuming silence means safety. But in those quiet places, the cracks begin to form. By the time you hear the noise, the damage might already be done. 2. The office that never sleeps. Where conversations turn into bonds. Cheating doesn't always start with touch. Most times it starts with talk. And one of the most dangerous places for that is the office. You think her workplace is boring, just files, reports, and meetings. But behind all that, there's laughter during breaks, long talks about life, inside jokes that build over time. That's where emotional cheating begins. Slow, soft, and almost invisible. Women rarely cheat because they want sex. They cheat because they feel unseen, unheard, or unappreciated. At work, someone might give them what they're missing. Small gestures like remembering how she takes her coffee, or asking if she's okay when she looks stressed. That sounds simple, right? But those small things slowly turn into emotional glue. Here's what usually happens. She meets a coworker who listens, who doesn't judge, who smiles at her stories. He reminds her she's funny, smart, and interesting. And if things at home are dry or distant, she starts craving that feeling. It's not about attraction at first. It's about being understood. But with time, those friendly talks turn into private messages. Then come the late-night work calls, the coffee breaks that last longer, and the feeling that someone else gets her better than you do. I knew a man named Robert. He worked long hours to provide for his family, but his wife, Lisa, started to drift. She said she was working late, but Robert noticed she was always smiling at her phone. When he asked, she said it was about a project. Later, he found out she'd been having long emotional talks with a male coworker about their dreams, their stress, their lives. Nothing physical happened, but emotionally, she was already gone. That's the thing. Emotional affairs hurt more than physical ones. Because once her heart starts to connect elsewhere, her body just follows later. So how do you stop it? Be present. Ask real questions. Listen. Not like you're fixing something, but like you care. A man who listens deeply is a man who never gets replaced. Women don't just want a provider, they want a partner who feels them. Because when a woman stops talking to you, it's not silence. It's the sound of her giving that connection to someone else. 3. The coffee shop, where she tests her visibility. A coffee shop might look harmless, just coffee, pastries, and quiet music. But for many women, it's something else. It's a little stage where they test if they still have it. When a woman starts feeling invisible at home, she doesn't always scream or fight. Sometimes she just finds a place where she can feel noticed again. And a cafe is perfect for that. She tells you she goes there to read or think. Maybe she brings a book or a laptop. But deep down, she's there for something more subtle. She dresses a little better, puts on perfume, chooses a table near the window where the light hits her face just right. She might post a story, take a selfie, or just sit and wait for someone to notice. A smile from a stranger, a compliment from a barista, it gives her a small high. Because that one moment tells her, I'm still wanted. You might laugh it off, thinking she's just having coffee. But that's the seed of emotional distance. When she starts craving outside attention, it means she stopped feeling desired at home. And when that need for validation grows, it doesn't stop at coffee. It turns into connection. There's a simple truth here. Women want to feel seen. When she stops getting that from you, she'll search for it in small, safe places. So what can you do? Don't accuse her. Don't act paranoid. Instead, notice her. Compliment her sincerely. When she wears something new, say it. When she shares her day, listen with interest. Don't let strangers in coffee shops remind her she's attractive before you do. Because once she starts chasing that feeling outside, you're already competing with invisible men. Attention is like air. She doesn't need a lot, but she needs enough to breathe. And if she's not getting it from you, she'll inhale it from anywhere. 4. Late-night social media, where tiny messages become hidden feelings. She doesn't need to go out to drift away. Sometimes she just needs her phone, glowing softly in the dark while you're lying right beside her. It starts innocent. A like, a comment, a small reply to a post. Then it turns into conversations that you don't see. Jokes, memories, or compliments that make her smile in ways she doesn't smile for you anymore. Social media is quiet, but it's dangerous. It's private, yet it connects her to everyone. And it gives her something powerful. Attention without accountability. She can talk to whoever she wants, whenever she wants, without anyone noticing. No one's judging her. No one's asking questions. Here's how it starts. A guy replies to her story, says she looks good. She smiles, says, thank you, and scrolls away. But then he replies again next time. She answers again. Soon, they're laughing at old memories, sending memes, sharing late-night thoughts. It's harmless at first, until it isn't. Because emotional cheating doesn't happen in a moment. It happens in a pattern. The pattern of giving energy, attention, and excitement to someone else while your relationship sits in silence. I knew a man once. Name's Kevin. He trusted his girlfriend fully, but he noticed she started staying up late, smiling at her phone, locking her screen when he walked by. He brushed it off. Later, he found out she'd been talking to her old college friend. Nothing physical, but emotional? She'd already crossed the line. She was sharing her heart, her fears, her thoughts, her laughter, with another man. That's what people forget. A message can be more dangerous than a kiss. Because a kiss might fade, but emotional intimacy leaves a mark that doesn't. So, what's the move here? Don't act like a detective. Don't scroll through her phone. That only makes you look weak. The real move is to build something stronger than any DM. Real presence. Make her feel so connected offline that she doesn't need validation online. Bring back real laughter, real interest, real attention. Because when she starts smiling more at her screen than at you, it's not her phone that's the problem. It's the space between you that allowed the phone to replace you. Late-night social media might look harmless, but it's where loyalty begins to crack quietly, not with betrayal, but with distance. 5. Social gatherings, where attention feels electric again. Parties, weddings, office events, dinners with friends. You think these are harmless social moments. But for many women, there's something else. A reset button. It's where she gets to step out of the routine, feel pretty again, and see how the world reacts to her energy. At home, she might be tired, busy, unappreciated. But at a party, under soft lights, with music and laughter, she feels alive again. Compliments hit differently there. "You look stunning tonight." "I didn't know you could dance like that." Those aren't just words, they're sparks. And one spark, when she's already emotionally distant, can grow fast. Here's the catch. It doesn't have to be physical. It could be just a conversation that lingers too long, a dance that lasts one song too many, a shared drink, a moment of eye contact that feels too personal. She might not even plan it, but she feels it. The thrill of being seen by someone who doesn't take her for granted. I've seen this happen with married couples more times than I can count. One man told me, "I was standing right beside her when it happened." He was holding her drink, smiling politely, while another man made her laugh. That deep, full laugh he hadn't heard in months. He didn't see it as cheating. But later, he realized that in that moment, she'd already started to drift. Not because of attraction, but because of emotion. Because she felt something she'd forgotten she could feel. Now, here's the truth. You can't stop people from looking at your woman, but you can stop her from wanting to be seen by them. And that doesn't come from control. It comes from confidence. Hold your frame. When you're at a social event, don't hover or act jealous. Stand tall. Be grounded. When she looks at you, let her see strength, not fear. Because a woman doesn't stay with the man who guards her like a prison. She stays with the man who makes her feel safe, admired, and proud to stand next to him. So yeah, parties are dangerous, not because of strangers, but because they remind her what it feels like to be noticed again. Don't let that reminder come from another man. Let it come from you. 6. The alone moments. Where boundaries quietly disappear. Now this one's the sneakiest, because it doesn't happen in crowds or on screens. It happens in silence, in small moments when she finds herself alone with someone. She might say, "Can you help me carry this?" Or, "Can you walk me to my car?" Innocent words. But what she's really doing, whether she knows it or not, is testing boundaries. She wants to see if there's still tension, if there's still power in her presence. It's not always about cheating. Sometimes it's just about confirming that she could if she wanted to. A man I once knew, Paul, was married for over 20 years. He joined a local community board. One woman there, also married, started finding reasons to be around him after meetings. One night, they were alone cleaning up the hall. She looked at him a little too long, smiled in a way that lingered. He told me later, "For the first time in years, I felt desired again." He didn't cross the line, but he thought about it for weeks. And that's how these things start, with thoughts. Because before an affair happens physically, it happens mentally. These alone moments aren't coincidences. They're setups for temptation, and they're dangerous because they feel innocent. There's no kissing, no touching, just quiet tension. But that tension is what destroys marriages. The truth is, she's not testing you. She's testing herself. She wants to feel that thrill again, the feeling of being wanted. But here's where your strength shows. You don't fall for it. You don't flirt back or feed that energy. You hold your ground with calm confidence. You don't shame her or act self-righteous either. You just stay unshaken. That's how you win. Because the man who controls himself controls everything. A woman might forget the one who flirts with her, but she'll always remember the one who didn't. The man who made her feel something, but never gave her the satisfaction of breaking him. So, next time you find yourself in those quiet, private moments, remember this: the strongest man is the one who keeps his power, even when the invitation is open. 7. Your own home, where disconnection begins. Quietly, and now we reach the hardest one. Your own home. This is the cruelest place where infidelity begins, because it's the one you trust the most. You think loyalty lives here. You think safety lives here. But sometimes, this is exactly where it dies. See, cheating doesn't need a hotel room or secret messages. It starts with silence, with routine, with screens glowing while you both scroll past each other like strangers. You're in the same house, but you're living in different lives. You assume everything's fine because nothing's exploding. But quiet distance is more dangerous than loud fights. A woman doesn't stop loving overnight. She fades slowly. She stops reaching out, stops waiting for attention, stops dressing up, until one day she realizes she feels more alive texting a friend than sitting beside you. The house is still standing, but the connection is gone. And when a woman stops feeling desired under her own roof, she doesn't need an excuse to drift. She just needs an opportunity. Here's the painful truth. She's not leaving because she wants adventure. She's leaving because she stopped feeling alive beside you. And that doesn't always mean another man came first. Sometimes it means you left first, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, even if your body never moved an inch. So what do? You don't fix it with flowers or empty "I love you" texts. You fix it with presence. Show up with energy. Ask her real questions. Bring back small touches, eye contact, laughter. Lead again. Not as a boss, but as a man who actually cares. Because the real home isn't your address. It's the connection between two people. And if that connection dies, no house can hold it together. So remember this: infidelity doesn't start in other places. It starts when love goes missing right where you thought it was safe. If your home is quiet right now, don't mistake that for peace. Sometimes silence is just the sound of love fading away. And by the time you finally hear it, it might already be gone. So now you see the truth. Infidelity doesn't start in a hotel room or a secret message. It begins in ordinary places: the gym, the office, a coffee shop, a glowing screen, a dance floor, quiet alone moments, and sometimes right inside your own home. It's not about lust, it's about loss. The loss of connection, of attention, of being seen. Most men miss it because they're looking for proof instead of presence. They're searching for lies instead of listening to silence. So here's your reminder. Don't try to own her, see her. Don't chase her, lead her. Don't question her loyalty, inspire it. Because loyalty doesn't come from control. It comes from connection. And if you've already lost her, let this be the wake-up call to never lose yourself again. Every man who's been blindsided by betrayal says the same thing: I never saw it coming. Now you do. If this message hit home, leave one line in the comments: I choose presence over panic. And if you're ready to understand women, attraction, and relationships through psychology, subscribe to Psychology Insight. Because the truth doesn't just save relationships, it saves you.